love all of our players. Freddie, nice guy.
Look, the crack of that bat. Nothing more beautiful than that.
Baseball is such an important part of our family.
That's the beautiful game of baseball right there. You win some, you truly lose some.
I just want somebody to talk Dodgers to me.
83 minutes to talk about two of the greatest nights of our lives.
I just want to keep watching it over and over again. How many is too many times to rewatch Freddie's Grand Slam?
How many times is obsessive?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's quite a lot.
But I think everyone is doing the same thing.
Yeah, I feel like you get at least 50 before you're like, okay, calm down.
Okay, without embellishing, how many times do you think you watched the Grand Slam?
Between all the different platforms and versions of it?
Yes.
Ooh. Probably 25 at least. So I'm not quite at obsessive yet, so I feel good about this.
I think I'm at 50 or 60. And then we just watched it right before, guys, to pump us up.
Maybe I'm at 26 then or whatever. I mean, where to begin? There's
oh my gosh.
So many
moments. Let's start and tell them all about Game 1. But first, welcome back to Talk Dodgers to Me.
Episode 32. Guys, we're so glad to be back and to be still with you all amidst the postseason. Who would have thought?
I did.
Okay, well, Melissa had all the optimism in the world, but who was betting that we were actually, we'd still be recording because, the team's in the World Series. What a first year to start, might I add.
I mean, we did sign Shohei and Yamamoto this year, so the stakes were high.
They were, but we had a lot of injuries.
And it was World Series or bust, right?
It was. But with all the injuries, I was like, okay, I'll give you grace if you don't make it because of everything that happened. But it is the sweetest thing to be in this position that we are in right now. 2 games up on the freaking New York Yankees, who've won a freaking gajillion of these World Series. But you know what I learned?
What?
I learned that back in the day, I don't know when this rule change happened. Maybe Adam can enlighten us since he's finally
back. Guys, Adam is back.
Which we'll get to my bones that I have to pick with you. But I learned that the Yankees, they were very, very good back then and still are today. But they won so many because you didn't have to play any postseason games. If you had the best record in baseball, you just went automatically to the World Series. So
what? When?
Back in the day.
When
they won a lot of in the 1900s. Is that what it is?
What year? Around what time?
I don't know the exact dates, but
they used to do that in the 20s.
Yeah, see? Back when the Yankees won a ton of their World Series and the Dodgers and Yankees played each other a lot, whoever had the best record in baseball didn't have to play, there were no division series or championship series for them to play. They just went straight to the World Series.
So who did they play against?
They missed out. Well, the Dodgers a lot. And then I'm not certain.
Right.
I'm not certain all the rest.
I think it's been 43 years since the Yankees and Dodgers have played each other.
That sounds about right.
And I mean, this couldn't be better for the MLB.
This is MLB's dream.
Absolutely their dream. And our dream. And my dream.
I know.
I was getting a lot of shit from, people back home.
Yeah.
Who are like, you left your roots. And I'm like, there's so many reasons why I love the Dodgers. And when you move somewhere and you claim that as your home, as I did with LA, you can embrace where you live and want to be a part of it and build that community. And that's what I wanted to do for myself. So
yeah,
I'm so happy to be a Dodger fan. And, you guys know I love them for so many reasons, as we've talked about this whole podcast. But Yankees, Dodgers, this is just incredible. I'm on cloud 9.
You've been out here long enough that I think it's fine to
13
say that
years, guys.
You're allowed to be a fan of this team. And it's not like you were a diehard Mets fan or Yankees fan prior to coming here. So I think that is where I'm like, I'll allow it.
Also, my dad was a diehard Phillies fan. You know, my family are Mets fans, Giants fans. Some are Yankee fans. So they're all over the place. I chose the Dodgers. And a lot of people always say, like, how would your dad feel about you rooting for the Dodgers? And I honestly think that he would feel so proud that I found a team that I love as much as he loved the Phillies.
Mm-hmm. You have a little bit of everything in your family. And so I think you're right. I think he would be stoked for you and for all that you were doing. And I think he would be excited that you love baseball.
He would think this is the coolest
being
thing.
Being a baseball fan.
But also it's like, it's more than the Dodgers. It's more than any team. It's the connection to baseball and what that does for me. And continues my connection with my dad and with Justin, as all of you guys know. So this is just really, really special. And we had a really special Game 1 experience.
Guys, we did. But first, Adam, how was Prague? But also, how dare you leave us in this moment?
The height of the postseason. Why? I need answers.
Like, bro.
Did you do that on purpose? Did you want to piss us off? Were you mad that the Dodgers made the postseason?
Could have picked a better time.
I needed a vacation. I don't understand. When a man needs a vacation, a man needs a vacation.
Okay, I will say that Adam did not drop the ball at all. He was on top of everything. We
Adam
put out
was amazing.
2 episodes last week. He and I were communicating the whole time, and it honestly wasn't any different than I didn't want to bother him as much. And he got to spend time with his brother. So as much as we're giving you a hard time, we hope that you had a really good time. And we're happy that you're back.
Yeah, we like to give you crap, but we made do. But you also, I know, I saw emails coming through even work-wise where he was like answering some things, which was kind of pre-planned because
it was. We did know it was
project.
coming. I just was being a little bit of a baby about it, and just, you know, we like to.
He just thought our season would be over before then. That's all.
You did miss out on a pretty epic night we had because, guys, so we're recording.
You could have come with us too.
I know, we're recording on Sunday, which is not normal for us.
No, but we are making exceptions to the routine because we are in unprecedented times.
And we want to give you all of our thoughts.
Yeah.
So we're at Kennedy Marshall where we record our podcast. And the Frank Marshall invited us to watch the game with him.
Yes, guys, it was such an enjoyable experience. Not only is it the best acoustics and viewing experience that you could ever have in someone's home, might I add, and I sat in a beautiful Eames chair. And you had the couch we had 2 puppies.
Oh, it was amazing. My anxiety
our nerves
was less because I was petting amazingly cute dogs the entire time.
Sweet Dakota and
but
Remy.
If you don't know who Frank Marshall is, just do a little Google.
Google him.
Is a legendary Hollywood producer behind so many movies that you know, all the Jurassic movies, all the Bourne movies,
Define
all
your
Indiana
childhood.
Jones. And Allie and Adam both work with Frank on a regular basis and have a great relationship with him. And he was kind enough to open up his movie theater room.
Essentially, yes. So he loves baseball. His daughter, Lily, is a huge fan of baseball as well.
Big Dodger fan.
So, big Dodger fan. And so it was like, let's go watch the game. And we had pizza and, well, you guys had wine. I wasn't
really nice wine, guys.
Until what happened in the end. And then we'll get to that moment. But it was just so wonderful, so much fun. We're all sitting there cheering on our boys in this incredible room where you feel like you can see every pore.
It was amazing. I've never seen the ball spin like that. And boy, did Aaron Judge look huge.
I don't even know how big that TV is. It was like
the
an
entire
LED
wall.
Yeah. It was truly incredible. And I joked that I was going to be back every night this week. So
we weren't crazy. I tried to be calm that he would maybe invite us back.
We were very controlled and very subdued.
We actually were gonna go somewhere else to watch the game, and then Allie called me and was like, "So,"
I was like, "You want to brace that traffic?" 1 and 2. How about we watch it at Frank's cool movie theater room first?
I had only been there to drop off packages when I used to work here. So getting to go past their house manager's office and into the house was big time, guys. And he was such a great host, and it was really fun to watch it with him. He's an incredible
host, and it was a blast. And like that's the side of Frank that I get to see often and love, producing these documentaries for him. And so it's so much fun. That's why I knew it'd be a great time. And we were texting yesterday throughout the game as well, because Nick and I went to Cosm to check that out. And the whole time it was just like, what is, like, it was like, and also like, no, Shohei, like, why? So it's fun to have people around who care just as much as like you and I do. And
we got pizza that said "Go LA"
on it.
It's also just really nice. Like anywhere you go this whole weekend, I'm seeing Dodger hats. There's Dodger flags outside of everywhere. Like I even met someone at waiting online at the gas station, and he was wearing a Dodger hat. So we started talking. Then he starts following the podcast, and
I said somebody at
I just love it.
The grocery store. I was like, "Go Dodgers!" And he was like, "Go Dodgers!"
Even today, me and all the girls went for coffee this morning, and everyone is wearing Dodger hats, and we're all talking about it, and it's just really fun for our city right now.
Yeah, it is. I went to the farmers market this morning, and it was a combination of either Dodger gear and or Halloween costumes.
Did you see Alex Weiser? Which farmer's market?
Oh,
he was at Game 1.
Oh my gosh.
He sent me an amazing video.
Our view was really great, but
it really was. We missed you at Frank's, Adam. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could have gone.
I know. Could have been fun.
How was Prague? What do you want to tell us about it?
Yeah. What was your favorite part of Prague?
Tell us at least 3 things.
It was fall there, and the colors were beautiful. Very, very picturesque, fall colors, burnt oranges and reds and yellows and greens and everything. So that was nice.
Okay.
The countryside was beautiful. Did a lot of hiking in the countryside by some castles.
Ooh.
And then the third thing I would say is I went to a hockey game.
Oh.
A hockey game owned by the team that was playing was owned by former NHL legend Jaromir Jagr, who is Chechen.
Can you say that name again?
That's a name.
Jaromir Jagr.
Jaromir Jagr.
The Ageless Wonder. He played till he was like 45. He was awesome.
What a name.
That's really cool.
Anywho, the game was great. And then the fans at the stadium got in fights with each other. Which was
that's entertaining.
Which was really interesting. Yeah.
And your brother lives there, so you got to see your brother, which is nice, right?
I hung out with my brother and his wife. Yeah.
Nice.
Good time.
Nice. You got
Did you miss us?
No comment. When a man needs vacation, a man needs a vacation.
From us.
He's like, from all of it.
Okay, understandable.
Well, I'm glad you had fun and enjoyed the colors and the castles.
Were you keeping up with the Dodgers?
Game 1 was happening in the middle of the night in Prague, although I did see the 9th inning, and I have some thoughts on that, which I can say now or later. Game 2 was on while I was on a plane all day yesterday, like literally all day.
So, how long is the flight?
Well, the flight, there's a stopover in London. The flight from London's like 11, 12 hours. But they had me go to Helsinki from Prague, which was strange. That was a 2-hour flight. And then from Helsinki to London, that was a 3-hour flight. So I was on a plane for like 17 hours yesterday.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot of flight
Well,
time.
Thanks for coming and recording with us today.
Sure.
Yeah.
Actually, it was Adam's idea. We were going to just do it on Zoom and not bother him.
I know. We were going to let you enjoy your weekend and be.
I had work to do here. So I might as well.
Oh, man. I mean, he's not wrong, but still.
Okay, let's talk about Game 1.
Guys. Game 1 had everything that you could want and love as a baseball fan.
Yep.
It had, incredible pitching on both sides. Both Cole and Flaherty were just,
Jack was locked
firing
in
on all cylinders. Obviously, Cole went a little longer than Flaherty
Can we just
did.
talk about how, okay, I know we're going to acknowledge all the synchronicities happening in this series, but the fact that Garrett Cole grew up a Yankee fan and Jack Flaherty grew up a Dodger fan, and they were both starting Game 1 of this epic series, that's really special. And that's not common.
No, it's not. And there's so many serendipitous moments that have happened thus far that feel, I don't know. It feels like it has been written for TV in so many ways. But yeah, you have incredible pitching. You have small ball. You have big ball. You have the most epic way to end a game ever that has never happened in the history of the World Series.
I know. Were you surprised that that's never happened before?
Kind of. I mean, I guess just in all the World Series, I'm like, no one's hit. I mean, there's probably been some Grand Slams hit.
Never a
not
Grand
like
Slam
a walk-off
or
Grand
not
Slam.
a walk-off Grand Slam?
It was never a walk-off Grand Slam.
Okay.
So I'm like, I guess that is very specific, but I was like, wow, that's never. And like Freddie even was like, wait, I didn't know that's not happened before. Like he too, I think, and when he talked about it, he hasn't even fully yet been able to process and like recognize that moment because one, he had to get home and take care of kids and get them to bed to turn around and do a game 2 the next day. But also it's game 1. You still have 3 more games you need to win. 3 more games have to be won. And then I think he'll be able to sit back and recognize how iconic that is. And one of my favorite calls was freaking Joe Davis when he's like, Gibby, meet Freddie. Like, ugh.
Do you think he thought about that? Just in case Freddie had a moment like that? Because they played those calls side by side and they were so similar. It was really amazing. But I think we should go through the game and then get to Freddie and that epic moment because there's so much to talk about. I think Jack was so locked in. Mm-hmm. I loved seeing his mom jumping up and down and I think he had a lot of friends there. And, he didn't have the best outing last time. And I know we heard he was under the weather. But he showed up and But
you asked me how I thought he was going to do. And I was like, you know what? I think he's going to have a bounce back because he didn't play super well the previous time. But I think this time he's gonna come out full throttle. And he did.
Yeah, he did.
And that's a hard lineup to keep in check and to keep at bay. And I know Judge is struggling right now. Yep. And that's the big conversation. It's like kind of how Mookie was last season. Last playoffs is now Judge is kind of doing his thing. But the guys in the post game, they've talked about it. It just takes one game to get you back on track. So I'm kind of, obviously as a Dodger fan, I'm hoping that one game just doesn't come for him. No offense. I like Judge. I think he's an incredible player. So it like, as a baseball fan, I'm like, oh, like I want you to do well, but also like not against my team.
I know. I can't imagine he's going to stay cold like this for long, especially with the day off, kind of regrouping and now going back to Yankee Stadium.
Reset.
I'm sorry. They showed a great graphic today. I watched game 2, the start of game 2 this morning.
Okay.
They showed a great graphic of how just in between Aaron Judge is right now. Breaking balls, he's way out front. Fastballs, he's way behind. He just can't find. Just can't find it right now.
Well, it's very mental. It seems like for him, and that's what the post-game show they were talking about.
He's a big man.
Oh my gosh! And on Frank's giant TV,
he looked even bigger.
It was insane. And also, can we acknowledge how the umpire was all over the place?
Yo, that strike zone was wild. And
at least just like stay consistent with your calls. It was all over the place. I mean, I guess it's
for both sides.
Like
it wasn't like he was being partial to one or the other. It was just every time I was like, that. Wait, you just call that a strike? Wait, you just call that a ball? Like, so many moments.
But good on Jack for not letting that kind of, get in his head or anything. There were a couple of moments where I was a little nervous with Jack, but he was great. He was great. He gave us as much length as we could possibly have. Garrett Cole went way longer.
He went 7 innings.
He's an amazing pitcher.
He is. Well, look, Flaherty is who I would have expected to go longer. Yamamoto.
Yoshi?
Y'all.
I'm obsessed with him right now.
Almost 7 innings, 6 1/3 innings. Holy crap. We'll get to game 2.
Yeah.
But the pitching. But I also love the way.
Can you believe that after our whole season plagued with pitching injuries, it's our pitching that is allowing us to win these games. It's our bullpen.
It's our pitching that's allowing us to win these games, but our offense is also showing up, and not just the top 3, not just the big 3. The entire lineup right now is on. Minus like Muncy could get back up in there a little bit more.
I expect him to have some moments at Yankee Stadium.
Each guy coming up to bat is a threat.
Yep.
There's not a single out that's like, oh, that one's easy.
Nope.
Maybe if Taylor ends up in the lineup, I guess you could feel that way about him potentially. But he got on, the last game that he actually played, he got a single or two from my memory.
Yep.
And so there's no guarantees of like, well, that guy's going down, or that's an easy up at bat, and that you could say that for both of our lineups, but not as much the Yankees. And the guys have talked about it. Like, if those big three aren't hitting, you are in trouble.
Yep.
And that doesn't mean that other guys can't, break through or get hits, but our entire lineup is scary. And right now they want this. You can see the fire in them. Not that the Yankees don't want it, but I think our guys want it more.
Me too.
I feel like they are.
Me too. Ooh, I just got the chills.
They are not going out of this without a trophy.
I know. But that's why this team is so special, because that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the fight. We're seeing every guy cheer on each other. We're seeing if one guy strikes out or something, next man up. It doesn't matter who it is. It's a different star every game. I mean, look at what Tommy Edman is doing. And they're not just all hitting home runs. They're playing small ball. They're doing this. They're doing that. Our pitching has been great. So fun. And to watch them not only cheer on each other, but perform and continue to fight, even extra innings the first game. They're not giving up. And the bond they have and just how much of a brotherhood they have this year is why this team is so special and what makes them different, and why I really, really think that we got it this year.
Yeah. No, and even, what is it?
It's just so fun to watch. I love this team so much.
Yeah. No,
Every one of them.
Look, I love them all. A lot of Dodger teams over these past 14 years, and this one does feel the most special. It also feels the most shockingly complete postseason wise.
It's amazing.
Which I wouldn't have expected. And that's with one of our starters is TBD, aka the bullpen. Like, what are the odds that would be the case? And, yes, Trinan had a little, scary moment last night, but he still did what he still got it done. Yeah. And the night before he pitched, I think it was like 22 pitches, which is a lot for a bullpen guy. And then he came back last night and had like 33 pitches. So, at that point, I think you're like, yeah, you need some rest. And he doesn't do super great with guys on base.
No, he doesn't.
But he got Judge out. He did what he needed to do. And then Alex Vesia comes in, freaking one, yo.
I got to say, we talked about what pitchers we're nervous about. When Alex Vesia gets up there, I am not nervous. I have full trust in him.
Yeah. I don't know if that's because we've met Kayla and I like her. Or if he's just really done well.
Maybe that goes into it a little, but I just...
No, he's pitched really well
when he gets up there, he looks so locked in, and I just trust him. I trust that he's going to get the job done.
And he has the fire.
And he's got... If anyone on our team has the fire, he's got the fire.
He's like...
And I think Blake, his pitching is incredible and unlike anyone else, but he does get a little rattled with guys on base, and that puts us in a tough situation. But fortunately, our defense has been great. And there's some plays that go unnoticed, like that first game. I forget who it was. Mookie stopped a ball and only allowed the guy to get a single instead of a double. And there's just some moments like that. Tommy Edman saved a ball from going past to have the runners advance. And those there's so many moments. Helpful.
And Tommy Edman, he had that one mistake in the first inning.
What did he do? Made up for it the rest of the game.
He
actually had, I think, 2 defensive errors. Yeah. You could tell he was just
for it, and he
a little too excited.
And then good old Tommy Tanks got us a lovely home run to start the game last night. And and then guys, I called it. I called Teo last night. And
that was amazing.
He freaking came through. So and that's the thing. It actually was really funny. I loved it. I love Big Papi. First off, can we just say, I need to be friends with Big Papi. I want a My Dog t-shirt. I'll take one in black,
I love when the Yankees lose.
Yes, I die. His trolling of Jeter and Rodriguez is...
And they're just like, all right, enough.
My favorite thing. And Jeter at one point was like, how you get in New York?
If people are giving Joe Davis shit for being the one calling the games, how come Jeter and A-Rod aren't getting any crap for being former Yankees?
Actually, good
and
question.
Sitting there talking about these games.
Good question. Well, actually, I was going to say one thing that I loved that Big Papi said is he was talking about our lineup. He's like, with 3 MVPs, as a pitcher, he's like, only God can save you.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that is very well said. Good sir.
But I do think we are pretty evenly matched with the Yankees. But even just
we are.
watching these two games, not only does it seem like we have more fight in us and more desire and fire to win, but every single guy in our lineup can do damage. Every single guy in our lineup could get a hit, could get on base, could get a walk, could get a home run. And you can't say that for theirs.
No, you can't.
So even like when we talked about the Mets series, I felt like we were the better team.
Mm-hmm.
And watching these two games, I do feel like we're the better team. However, they've got some guys that do scare me, like Stanton and Soto.
Stanton and Soto
and when
scare me every time
Judge
they come up.
When Judge heats up, which I'm sure he will.
Yeah, it's probably inevitable.
But
I don't think you keep him quiet for,
I know,
however many games we need to win.
Especially with how crazy Yankee Stadium's going to be. But what I was really impressed with our guys was, they did have some defensive errors. They're not letting that stuff rattle them. Like, they're not being as patient at the plate as I would like them to be. They're swinging at a lot of first pitches, like Shohei, and I just wish he would take a pitch. Look at the pitcher.
Well, especially for a guy who hasn't pitched in, a month.
But they're not giving up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I love.
Yeah. No, you're right. Like, they're not letting one mistake or two mistakes then let them spiral into
which I think they have in the
constant
past.
Mistakes. And they're like, nope, recollect ourselves and, let's just get up there and do what we know we need to do and win the game.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously all of our offense for the most part came in the first half of yesterday's game, and then it got a little quiet, but the pitching did what they needed to, and then it got a little scary in that 9th inning of yesterday's game.
It was almost a repeat of game 1.
It almost was, but in the opposite fashion, and
exactly
not for the right
and
team.
That's the difference. We were able to maintain the lead and win the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that game 1,
I know, speechless.
There
is no one more deserving of that moment than Freddie. And that's just
not at all.
One out of a million reasons why this year and this team is so special. With everything he's been through on and off the field, with his son, with his injuries, all the stuff that I'm sure we don't even know half of it, how he is making himself available to play through injury. There truly was no one more deserving. Yeah. And I'm just so happy for him. And that moment will go down in history and will be talked about forever.
It will go down in history. And I think every single one of his teammates couldn't be more stoked that it was him.
Yep.
And that's partly why I think this team is so close, is they have just gone through everything together.
Yep.
And they've been there to support one another this entire season. And you cannot tell me that everything that collided on game 1 is coincidence. You and I were texting about this. Game 1, same exact time.
8:47 p.m.
8:37.
Yeah, you're right.
8:37 p.m. Game 1, Kirk Gibson home run wins the game.
And we knew,
Freddie
I knew a Kirk
wins the game.
Gibson moment was going to happen for Freddie.
Neither of them can, Freddie can walk a little bit better than Kirk Gibson. And
did you hear the difference he said?
Yeah, but he's like, I played the whole game.
And also, I love what Dave Roberts said. And I've heard him say this before, but he's like, the game rewards you.
Yes, I loved that. He's like, he's doing everything. He's not gonna just sit out. He's like, the game rewards those kind of people.
And he even is sitting at the post-game interview, and they're like, so what now? And he's like, well, I got to go home and put the kids to bed.
Yeah. Well, but I loved how he talked about it. He's like, these are the moments you dream of. Like when you're 5 years old in the backyard with your brothers playing baseball. Like these are the moments you envision. And he just got to live one out in real time. And he's an incredibly accomplished baseball player to begin with.
Yeah.
Dude's, he
but he
no
also
slouch.
gave the moment to his dad, which is another reason why I love this team, because they're making it about all of them. Mm-hmm. It's not about any personal accolades. It's the team win. And for him to say, that moment was for my dad, and for him to run over to his dad and just to see that bond between them and how elated both of them were. Oh,
there's nothing better than to look
definitely
over
brought me
and
to
see
tears.
His dad right there every game on
and you
the
can see him, and he said
watching.
His dad has become friends with Mary Hart and her husband.
Cute. I love that.
Just okay, I need
Mary Hart.
I need to see the reaction video of Freddie's dad, Fred, And also, I want to see the reaction video of Chelsea and the kids.
I know. We haven't been able to find one.
I saw a nice moment where he found his wife and they got to celebrate together. That. But I want their reaction. Seeing Freddie. Like, imagine Charlie Freeman.
Yeah.
Seeing his dad, bottom of the 10th.
Yeah. Bases
loaded, 2 outs, and your dad hits a grand slam to win a World Series game? Does it get any better than that?
Dude, does anybody have it better than Charlie Freeman?
I know.
Like, at all?
Again, we've said it. I want Charlie Freeman's life.
Yeah.
I want Chelsea Freeman's closet.
That or Mary Hart, I'm fine.
She had a great sparkly jacket she wore to both games. You better keep wearing that, Mary, because it's been good luck.
Right? And you better be at game 3.
You think she's going to New York?
I don't know. Do you think some of those people fly out for that? Or
yeah.
But those specific seats, I don't are you able to get them or not? And this is something we talked about. I actually think there will be, Dodger fans at Yankee Stadium because unlike
I'm sure Pantone 294 is going to show up with a crowd.
They're going to be there, and there's got to be a lot of Dodger fans that happen to just be and live in New York, just like there are Yankee fans who live here.
Yep.
With it being, both coasts, big cities. So, yes, it'll be probably most Yankee fans, but what's nice is they don't ban you from being able to buy tickets if you're a fan of the opposing team. So we appreciate that. But I'm hoping that even with this day off, they come in with still the same amount of fire. And we have Buehler going for game 3. And look, we've seen what he's done thus far in the postseason, and he gets into form.
Yep.
In the postseason. He loves
just
the postseason.
like Yamamoto did. I think he performs best on these huge stages, and it was so amazing to see.
Y'all, his curveball is nasty. Did you see the ump's eyes when I saw something where it was showing him pitch, and then it zoomed in on the umpire's eyes, and he's like, it was fantastic.
I loved his reaction. I loved him getting a standing ovation. Well, before we totally get into game 2, let's hear your thoughts about game 1, Adam.
Yeah. Yeah, you said you had something to say.
I'm going to be a little bit more subdued about the series in general, just a heads up.
Why?
Because it's the evil empire of the West and the East is what he will say.
Yeah, I can't stand either team. I'm not rooting for either one.
But you can also decide to be that way, or decide to watch these games with the eyes of look at this amazing talent.
Or just you love baseball.
I'm watching the games. I'm not saying that I'm not watching the games or enjoying the baseball. I will comment on the tactical error of Aaron Boone in just a moment. However, I'm just letting you know, in the past, I have rooted for teams that I did not like, San Diego and the Mets.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot bring myself to root for the Yankees against the Dodgers.
So you're rooting for the Dodgers?
I'm not rooting for the Dodgers. If both teams could lose, that would be the ideal situation for me. But I'm availing myself of rooting interest in this series because I can't stand either team.
I don't believe you.
That being said, my only thought on game 1 is, again, the tactical error by Aaron Boone, at least in my perception. And I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant again here and talk deep baseball tactic strategy here.
Should we leave?
He's like, I'm going to go apply for a job as a manager.
Should I go get a snack?
Bottom 10, Verdugo catches the Shohei Ohtani foul
ball. Oh, we didn't even talk about him yet.
Uh-huh.
Catches the foul ball. The runners advance from first and second to second and third. And that leaves first base open, and they decide to intentionally walk Mookie Betts. I don't understand the decision to walk Mookie Betts in that situation. Look, I don't watch the Yankees, thank God, because they are insufferable. But I don't know Nestor Cortez's pitch arsenal.
He hasn't pitched in months. Yeah.
Well, September 18th, I think, was his last start.
If he's prone to pass balls and prone to wild pitches, then I understand, okay, you don't want to pitch to Mookie. I understand the lefty-righty not want, the better matchup is lefty-lefty. That's why you intentionally walk him. But here's my problem. Mm-hmm. I'm going to drone on for a second, so get comfortable. Here's my problem.
Settling in.
I like when he talks really great things about the Dodgers.
He's only ever done that once. Don't get used to it.
I know.
Here's my problem. Mookie, there's a base open. You don't have to pitch to him aggressively. You can pitch around him and hope that Mookie extends the strike zone and tries to get too aggressive and maybe rolls over one. I just don't understand why you don't even try to pitch to Mookie, knowing that you can pitch around the edges. Like, if you intentionally walk him, then there's nowhere to put Freddie. Freddie can sit on a fastball, which is what he did. He can sit on a fastball knowing, hey, Nestor can't pitch around me. Nestor cannot walk me. He has to throw a strike. He can't get behind in the count. He has to throw a strike on the first pitch. Has to. And guess what? Freddie knows that. He sits on it. He hits a grand slam. And by the way, a quick correction from my last rant.
No. We liked your rant.
No.
It was all positive.
I'm not.
But also, did you think that Freddie took a nod from Kike? Because I thought Freddie was visualizing, and then he got up to bat and he made it happen.
It looked like he was.
It really did.
When the changeover happened and we were waiting.
He was
for him
looking.
To come back, he was staring.
He was looking into the crowd, and he was visualizing, and then he got up and made it happen. Okay. Continue.
Correction from last time. I said the difference between great teams and good teams is capitalizing on mistakes. That's not true. The difference between good teams and bad teams is capitalizing on mistakes. You watch the White Sox this season. People make mistakes to them. They can't capitalize on those mistakes. That's a bad team. The difference between good teams and great teams is capitalizing or hitting or pitching when even the other team does everything right. So Nestor Cortez is like a great player, in this case, Freddie Freeman. I think Nestor made the pitch that he wanted to make. He made, a two-seam fastball inside corner, and Freddie still got to it. That's a great player because the pitcher executes how he wants to. The player still hits it. That's a sign of a great player. So just to correct.
So you're saying the Dodgers are a great team, and Freddie Freeman is a great player.
Yeah, they have a great Freddie.
Just
executed.
Needed to make sure we got that.
I think
on this podcast
will never like us. He will have a vendetta against the Dodgers for always. But I appreciate the fact that he can at least acknowledge that we are a great team with great players. That he actually doesn't, other than maybe like one or two people, he really doesn't dislike any of our players. He just doesn't like the Dodgers. It's a very confusing and convoluted world that Adam
It really
lives in.
doesn't make sense. No, he just decided this, and he won't stray from it.
I'm just saying, Aaron Boone, why?
It's a lot easier to just embrace it.
Why not pitch to Mookie Betts? I just don't get it. Like, I don't get it. I don't know the splits.
He's playing the stats. He's playing the matchups.
I understand, but with the base
did he
open,
think Freddie's injured?
Maybe
he hasn't been on fire yet.
Maybe.
It just doesn't make any sense.
And then Freddie got a home run the next night too.
Yeah, he did.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Did you notice?
And he got a triple in that first game. Can we talk about the fact that we had 2 triples in that first game?
Oh
He's
my
sitting
gosh.
fastball. He's sitting fastball.
2 triples.
He knows
Guys,
Nestor has to throw a
when
strike.
do you
It doesn't
ever-
make any sense.
I do you
love a
ever get
triple.
2 triples?
I love a triple.
Like, that was so much fun. And actually, that was the funny part where both him and Dave Roberts. Did you hear Dave Roberts' comment? They were asking, like, what do you think when Freddie did that triple? He's like, I was thinking, stop.
yeah, like I'd like a stand-up double.
Like, please just stop.
But that's who Freddie is, and he's gonna, go the extra mile. I will say that watching him run the bases, I was very nervous about it, but I love watching a triple. It's so exciting.
They're just...
And that also created the momentum for that game. For our team to watch him do that, like, that fires them
You
up.
watch somebody who's not 100% going out there and giving 110%.
Yep.
It changes your outlook. It changes your mood, your desire to go out there and be great, both for yourself, but for them.
Fires me up.
Yeah, like, put us in, coach. We're ready. Like,
I do notice, and maybe it's just because it's game 1 and not like game 7. Most teams do stay and watch the other team celebrate. Like, you see the look on their face and they're kind of like hunched over the dugout, but they're watching. They immediately went into the clubhouse. They did not watch at all. You just saw all of them go in.
Well, because in Yankee world, winning World Series is the standard, and it is business. And I saw some but
I get that
Yankee
because it's game 1 and
conniption.
You're watching the other team win the series, and that probably sticks with you as a player, and you're like, I don't ever want to experience this feeling again. So let me watch them enjoy this, and I'll remember it. Yeah. They have more games to play. Yeah. So they can't get caught up in that.
Yeah. No. And they look, the Yankees were up 2 games on them, but they're not they're not going to be easy to beat. Like
No.
just because we have a lead doesn't mean that we can like settle in
And
and start
unfortunately,
slacking.
a day off does kind of kill the momentum a little bit.
Mhm.
But, I really do have faith in Bueller. And if we could win one game at Yankee Stadium, take it home, win at home, that would be amazing. Although I would like to sweep them. I just realistically,
as
not
much
thinking
fun
that's
as it
gonna
would be to
happen.
win, 2 games in New York and call it Dunsey. There's a part of me it's like, well, it'd be fun to also have them here. But I just want to win without. I mean, look, I want to win no matter what, and I'll take what I can get to make that happen. But with not insane amounts of stress would be nice as well. Which after game 1, I was like, dear God, Nick, if this goes like you said it, I'm gonna be great by the end of this series.
Oh yeah, Nick wanted
So-
every game to go.
He wanted every game to end with a walk-off by the home team
in 7 games.
in 7 games. And I'm like, dear, which means the Dodgers would win. But oh my God, my precious little heart.
I know.
To be, tied and or down in the 9th and or 10th, like we were in game 1 for the 4 games at Dodger Stadium. Oh God, my heart. I don't think my heart could take it.
How was watching it at the Cosm?
Okay, Cosm was really cool. I have one little tiff with them that they do not have enough seats for the amount of tickets that they give out, because it's like you can't. It's partly like a bar, like a really big, cool bar.
So it's like sitting, standing.
Yes.
Mhm.
But then there's also even like crazy more expensive tickets, which we didn't get because being mindful
Where
of
are
budgets
those?
over here. So those are for like the dome area, and you can see it. And like where I was standing for the end of the game is I could see it, but there are seats in front of where I was standing, like lounge couch seats. And then above there's like actual seats. And it's like you're right behind home plate.
Wow.
It's that view. It's really cool. And it goes all the way around you. Like you're in it practically. Probably even more so than when you actually are sitting right behind home plate, just like based on how it is. So didn't get to go and like sit up there, but I did get to like stand and like see that. And that was really incredible. But then part of the game, we were just in what they call the hall, which is all the other, tons of big TVs. And the atmosphere was amazing. And what was nice is that, most of the TVs, they're on TV channel and they go to commercial break.
Mm-hmm.
So the dome area didn't. It just went to the cool view of like the loge seating.
That's
where
cool.
you could like see the field, see what was happening. They also had a dugout view of where you like saw the dudes running up from the dugout in that view of the field.
Oh my gosh, I would have loved that.
So that was really, really cool. I would definitely go back. I'd love to sit in those like dome seats at some point.
That's cool. Yeah.
Because it was really
looked
fun.
really
And
cool.
the atmosphere was great. And, they do all the Dodger chants. We got to do the, 7th inning stretch, take me out of the ball game stuff. And so that was really fun. But my only nitpick was that at one point I just straight up sat down on the ground because I was like, nope, my back can't take it. We have the back of an 80-year-old. And there was a woman who like checked your wristbands to see if you could like go upstairs. And this 60-year-old woman over here stood the whole time. And I'm like, well, congratulations. You are better than I am.
Oh man, they can't even give her a chair.
I was like, you deserve a stool. And she was like, I'm good. Like, I've been doing this. I'm like, well, kudos to you and your lower back. So yeah, it was very fun. You were missed, obviously more fun to get to watch these games with you. But what was really lovely though, is I ran into a friend I haven't seen in forever. And she has a daughter named Brooklyn, and I actually learned, you'd be proud of me, I told her about the podcast. She was very excited about it. But
oh man, you should have taken a bag with you there.
Oh, well, you know what I realized as I was
you
on
can
our
have
way,
your clear bag
I
now.
meant to take because I was like, I don't actually have a small one, but I want our crossbody one now, because that I will wear far more and easier than the hand one. But I do need my clear bag back because I forgot that I didn't have it with me, and I was like, dang it, I can't take it as a talking point.
Yeah.
To Cosm.
Yeah.
Which would have been a
nice.
great moment to chat with folks. But her daughter's name is Brooklyn. And she was telling me why she named her daughter Brooklyn. So her dad she grew up in Arizona. So, Diamondback territory. But her dad is from Brooklyn and like grew up a Brooklyn Dodger fan. And then when they moved out west, obviously she like was raised a Dodgers fan. And then when they moved to LA and they had kids, she's like, yeah, name my daughter Brooklyn, like due to the Dodgers. And now to see her daughter like loving baseball, and she was telling me how even she was talking about one of like the pitches and something, and she was like, I'm so happy right now. Like my daughter like gets it. Like she loves this. And that stemmed from her love for it, which stemmed from her father's love for it. And it's just those like familial, like, you know, what's the word? Connections it's everything. It's, we've said it a million times on this podcast, and we probably won't stop at that, but you know, it's just fun.
Well, it's really cool to hear everyone's stories of why they became a Dodger fan. And, you know, I do want to acknowledge that we did lose Fernando Valenzuela.
We did.
About a week ago.
Yeah.
Not even.
Which we saw it was from liver cancer.
Mm-hmm. And what an impact he had on,
oh my gosh, yeah,
on honestly not just baseball.
No,
it bringing the city of Los Angeles
brought the city together. He brought a whole community back to baseball and to Dodger. You know,
we pulled a clip from our episode with Eddie that we hadn't even released yet, because I remembered just listening to him speak about Fernando Mania and what he meant to him, that I really wanted to share that with everybody, and to hear stories from listeners messaging in what he meant to them was really, really special. And I know that there were a lot of synchronicities with Fernando and how they honored him. And it was great to see Oral put the ball down by 34 and how we won.
I was going to say, you texted me this and I was shook. And then you add on every other layer. We won the game 6-3.
I know. And then yesterday someone mentioned,
you have to finish that off of why that matters.
Oh, because he was 63.
Yeah, he passed at 63 and we won the game 6-3. Like,
we also won yesterday 4-2, which is Jackie Robinson 42. Oh. Someone just messaged that into us.
That's fun. I like all these little things. Also, the thing, I think I told you this last night on our live, I have curiosity because of all of the lovely little connections between Freddie and Kirk Gibson in the 1988 World Series, and obviously now in 2024. I was like, how many games did they win that in? And Nick looked it up, and it was like, oh, they won it in 5 games. They won game 1. They won game 2. They lost game 3, and they won game 4 and 5. So we're still on track.
Oh my gosh, I just got the chills again.
We're going to see what happens.
Not that I want to lose game 3.
As
much as I want to talk about all of that because it's so special and you know I'm thinking it all in my head, I don't want to say too much because I want to wait for the season to be over. We do have our own, superstitions and things like that. So I don't want to jinx anything. I don't want to speak too soon. I want to watch this play out and just keep acknowledging these special moments. But yeah, let's see what else is going to happen.
But all that aside, there is something in my gut with this team. And it's hard.
But also now we lose a tremendous loss in Fernando Valenzuela. And I love that Jack Flaherty, he walked into the stadium game 1 with his jersey on. And that's adding another layer of heart to this team.
It's another thing that brings them together.
Another reason why they're fighting so hard.
It's been blow after blow after blow this year, and they have, risen from the ashes each time, and it's been really, really cool to see. And it's heartbreaking to lose someone so special
and so young.
Yeah. 63 is not old. And that's just like too young. It's so sad. Like, cancer sucks. And like, obviously you don't know how soon he knew about it, but from when it was announced to his passing was only 3 weeks. And that's just,
I know,
that's heartbreaking. And he's going to, a hole has,
I thought they did a beautiful little ceremony and acknowledging before game 1. That was really nice. And every one of our players knows the impact that he had, and they're wearing the 34 patch.
What I love is that players like him, it's bigger than baseball. Just like you said, like it really brought together a city in a way that there was a lot of, dividedness between the Hispanic community in this city and the Dodgers before he came in because of the history of Chavez Ravine. And not that it's not the same way with the Asian community, but to see players like Yamamoto and with Shohei, and even with Edman, who is Korean, and it's
first Asian American to win MVP.
It's just so cool to see.
Really cool.
Like, we've gotten to see the split screens of people in Japan early in the morning watching these games, and I love how much that community is already, like, they love baseball and have for forever, but to see them coming into, like, a lot of them are Dodger fans now, in which they may not have been prior, and so it's really cool to see communities of people be brought into this game via players and the impact that they make both in the sport that they're playing, but within the communities that surround the world. And the fact that not to take it back to the division series, but the fact that 12.8 million people in Japan watched that game compared to, I think it was like 7.8 or something in America.
The Darvish,
Yamamoto game. And I'm like, holy crap. Like, that's incredible. I need to go to Japan and watch a baseball game there. Like, I need to do that.
But I mean, it's also great to see the sport that we love so much be risen on this platform and more eyes to be around it. And even like, I'm celebrating one of my best friend Natalie's birthday this weekend, and she rented a beautiful house in Hollywood, and all of our girlfriends have been there all weekend, and they all gathered around to watch the Dodgers game. None of them really care about it, but they did it for me and because it's the World Series and all of that. But she had watched the game the night before, and she said, I don't even like baseball, but I could tell that was like an epic moment. And that gave me chills, and that made me want to watch game 2 and have that on. And I really just appreciated everyone and being so into it, because, sometimes you're around people and they don't care and they make that known. Yeah. So for them to embrace it and get on board, and then to walk around the streets, like I mentioned earlier, not everyone is friendly in LA. Not everyone says hi to each other. I mean, I do, but to see everyone acknowledge each other. Oh my God, did you see the game? You're wearing a Dodger hat. You're wearing a Dodger hat. You got a Fernando jersey on. Just to see people interacting more and for it to be bringing our city together. It's really nice to see. I will say that watching the game last night, I think after game 1 and how much I believe this is our year, my level of anxiety was less than normal. I was actually calming down Natalie's mom, who every time there was 2 outs or 2 strikes, she's like, I can't watch. I have to go in the bathroom. I have to go in the kitchen. And I'm like, we got this. We got this. Even when the bases were loaded in the 9th inning and trying to. You were
okay? I was a little.
When Bessia came in, I'm like, we got this.
Do you ever get weird superstitions like I do? Like, so for instance, because, because of this, I was like, oh, I should probably be mindful of try to record big moments. And y'all, I am not the most technology savvy or.
You were better than me.
Oh, well, thank you. I really tried, but I am not the most, social media, I don't know all that well. I do my best. But I mean, I sent you a photo that was an attempt at a video, and it was the most ridiculous view of my face. I failed that one. But at the end of the game, I was like, okay, I want to get the strikeout on camera and the reaction. And so I start recording, and this is before any guys even on base yet. Mm-hmm. And then by the second guy getting on base, I was like, I can't. The superstition in me is you recording is the reason it's not going the way you want it to. So I'm like, put the phone away.
No, I totally understand that thought process. And that actually brings up a good point that I was thinking about and wanted to mention. We all live through our phones these days.
We really do.
We're not just watching a game. We're watching it through our phone. And I do appreciate how, I asked Adam to send me pictures. And he's like, I don't need to take pictures. I remembered. It's in my head. We're not watching the game. We're recording it and watching it through our phone. And
which I kind of hate.
I know, to see a whole stadium with just their phones out, you're not being present in the moment. And especially like being at my friend's birthday, like I wanted to be present and be there. And so I wasn't really taking that many videos or anything.
Yeah.
But even to think about all the players, how they get to be just so present. They don't need to worry about all that. They have a million videos they get to watch of everyone taking them.
There are people hired to make sure they have that for
and
later.
It's just like I don't like that, and I'm not someone that loves to be on my phone so much. All my friends know, call me, don't text me.
God, preach, high five to that.
Yeah, and I think
I'm sorry
you're
to the 300 and something people that I have not texted back.
So we're doing the best we can with doing reaction videos and things like that. But also, I really want to enjoy this. Like, this is an amazing series to watch.
That's
and
I
am loving it.
I want to be present. And so part of me is like, here, just slap a thing next. I don't know. Put a sticky thing on the back of your phone, slap it on a wall, press record, and just record the 4 hours straight or 3 hours straight of me just sitting and watching the game. You can do that because, like you said, I want to savor every moment of this series, of these games, of this team. And it's my favorite time of the year. It's the best time of year. And I wish it was a little chillier outside because, I want to live in the fall vibes. I left my house and was like, why am I wearing a sweater?
It's chillier on this side of town than Hollywood this morning.
Oh, that is.
But also, true. If you're spending thousands of dollars on a ticket, keep your phone in your pocket, watch the game, because all the videos that are going to get posted are going to be way better than the one you take.
That is actually very true.
Enjoy
and you know what?
it.
Here's the beautiful thing. You can always repost. That's the age we live in. But I'm with you. My little tangent is that they're very useful, and I'm grateful for social media when it comes to like connecting with people that you love that live far away. Like, I'm very grateful for the advancements in technology in that regard. But I really do hate that I feel like there's so many art forms that are being lost. I was talking about this the other day with some of my crew when we were in Oklahoma, and just how kids these days, I don't even think know how to write cursive anymore or how to read it, much the less. So think about that there's a whole generation of children. This is a total tangent, obviously, but a whole generation of kids that aren't going to be able to read historical documents potentially. And like, it's like the art of letter writing I love. And that doesn't happen as much anymore. Like, I actually have a friend who I do pen pal with still because I think it's beautiful. But
I do too, actually. We send each other cards for like every holiday and stuff like that.
See, and that's my thing. I'm like, yes, is it more convenient to be on your phone? Yeah. But I feel like there's like some beauty that is lost in the midst of the advancements. And I do think we spend far too much time on our phones, and we don't know the lasting effects of what that will be. And we stare at computers too long, and my eyesight's already going. So there's my old lady rant on technology.
No, I agree.
We should all, as much as please keep listening to our podcast, which is technology, and commenting and reacting to the stuff we post. But also, like, man, don't forget to just live in the moment and be present with the game that we all love deeply here. And guys, we only have at minimum 2 games left, or maximum 5.
But even like, I was thinking about, I spent a ton of money going to the Taylor Swift concert. I don't regret it at all. It was amazing. And I took a bunch of videos. Series. I don't know if I've ever watched any of them.
Yeah.
So when you're doing that and you're wanting that moment because you want to post it and you want to acknowledge that you're there, take a picture when you get there, Dodger Stadium, yourself.
Yeah.
And then enjoy the game.
Well, because that's an interesting point. You take all those videos, but then those aren't the videos you're watching back 50 times. You're watching the official ones back 50 times.
Exactly.
Because they're better and they have a better view of it than you do. So it's a really good point to just be mindful. There's people whose jobs is to do that. Your job is to just enjoy the moment, and you paid thousands of dollars to be there. So be present with it. And don't be like the friggin' Dodger fan from game 1 who leaned over and
we forgot to talk about that.
Grabbed it was Glaber, right? I think it was Glaber.
Remember at one point Frank goes, Glaber? What a weird name. Because when you say Gleyber Torres, like
it works.
It sounds
just
like
Gleyber.
a baseball name, but when you're just saying Gleyber, it's like, where'd you come up with that one?
You're like, huh? Yeah, right. I wonder if there's any other Gleybers out there. I've never met.
Yeah, that
anybody.
fan interference was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it actually worked in our favor?
Because
you don't know how
it guaranteed him a double.
You don't know how it would have ricocheted off the wall, if it would have gone this way or that way, or if he could have advanced more. You did see that fan scoot out real quick.
Y'all, he was packing up his own stuff before the security even got to him.
But who knows? Maybe it did work in our favor.
There was no harm, no foul.
Maybe. Because I do think karma is a thing, Alex Verdugo. Yeah. Him talking crap about the Dodgers. As a former Dodger, who seemed to really enjoy playing for the Dodgers.
But I think that's why he
is bitter.
Because I think he wanted to stay a Dodger, and then when he got traded, he got all hot and bothered. Which, I mean, like, I don't know, I guess I don't blame him. Poor, Miguel Vargas. If anyone has a reason to complain, he does. But Miguel has a lot to complain about. But Verdugo went to the Red Sox, like not a bad place to be. And also was a part of that Mookie trade, so I'm very glad it happened.
I know.
And now he's on the Yankees, and I think he fits in the Yankees, although he looks very weird to me without a beard.
Yeah.
He talked crap.
That's something that I don't love, and something that did stray me a little bit. I love our team and how they build up the confidence of the players and allow them to really be themselves. When you're we're in 2024, and I think a lot, as much as I appreciate a lot of tradition, I do think you have to move with the times and allow these players to be themselves. So for example, a guy like Verdugo, making him shave off his beard that he's so used to having, like, that makes you feel like you. Yeah. So when you're taking that away from you, that does affect your game. The game is so mental. So
look, nothing is worse than what they did to Phil Bickford, though. Never forget. Honestly,
he looks like a different
That's
person.
why we're going to win this season, because of what they did to Phil Bickford, okay? We're going to beat the Yankees as revenge for signing him, making him shave and cut his beautiful blonde Goldilocks hair.
And then trading him.
No, they traded him or they cut him 2 days later. Or it was something quick like that. I don't know the exact timeline, but it was so
I want to
fast.
ask him
and
about that.
How dare you?
I want to ask.
I liked Phil Bickford. Thank you very much.
You too. I did too.
So, yeah. So there's my hot take. That's why we're gonna win the World Series.
I like it.
As revenge for Phil Bickford.
You don't do that to Phil Bickford, DJ of the clubhouse. You don't do that to a
former.
He was like the DJ.
Was he?
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. Who's the DJ now?
Everybody. They're just all getting along and having fun. Maybe Miggy Rowe.
Miggy Rowe.
I can see that.
Miggy Rowe is the team cheerleader. He is the team hype man. And
I love watching our guys cheer on each other.
I love that he's back in the lineup. Yeah. I'm so glad we got him and Vestia back. And
Gratterall. Oh my God, guys. That moment where he caught the ball.
Yes.
Held it for a moment and then threw it. Chills.
I love Gratterall.
I freaking love him.
I will always love Gratterall because he threw me a ball. But I just love that.
And he waited very patiently.
Y'all, I was the most patient human for 5 innings.
But that moment where he just held on to it for a moment, barehanded, and just threw it. He's a badass. Y'all, and I love him.
It's beautiful.
I think Adam's falling asleep back there.
We love this sport so much.
Are you? Are you sleeping?
Adam, how you doing?
Okay. How are you doing back there? Anything you want to share?
I just want to say,
you must have appreciated the phone talk we were having, because you don't like being on your phone or taking pictures.
No, I don't. Charlie Steiner, just happy for Charlie. This is way off topic, but happy that his cancer's in remission. So, just want to say
is that news?
Yeah.
Wait,
I don't know if you knew any of this.
Announced. How do you know?
Because there was a piece in the LA Times.
Oh.
Wait. Well, he had a fall, and that was the original thing that happened to him.
His back was bad, yes, but he didn't tell any. He didn't tell really anybody that he had cancer.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, so I don't know. I think we've maybe cut it before, but I'm not. Charlie is a friend of mine, but I haven't talked to him in a while. I check in every now and then, and he usually answers. But oh my God.
Yeah, he didn't tell anybody about his cancer from, I mean, the very little I know. But I listened to Tony Kornheiser's podcast. Tony and him are lifelong friends.
Aww.
Tony mentioned
Better
something
than
about
me and Charlie, obviously.
He mentioned something about this, and Bill Plaschke of the LA Times, I think, he came to Bill and said, "I'm ready to talk about this because it's in remission." So thankful that Charlie's cancer.
That's amazing,
guys.
news.
That is incredible news, especially with what happened just happened to Fernando. Like we can't lose another one of our dudes. And
I'm so glad to hear that.
I love Charlie so much. He's
been here.
He's been in many of my documentaries. He's fantastic. Great voice, obviously. But I've been to many lunches with him, and there's nothing more sweet than sitting down and just letting him talk and tell stories. And those are the moments I love. Y'all make friends with people older than you in your life. Mm-hmm. Just a little life lesson. Mm-hmm. There's so much wisdom to glean. There is so much, just insight. And it's just fun to listen to people talk about their lives and the stories and the things they've experienced that you yourself have not yet, or, in the case of Charlie, I will never experience the incredible life he has lived thus far. But it is, and he's, he was a diehard baseball fan, and he wanted, he's doing, right now he's obviously on pause, but he got the job that he dreamed of doing.
He dreamed about being.
How often?
He was
and
watching
not just
as a
baseball.
kid.
The Brooklyn Dodgers specifically.
Really? When he was a kid on Long Island, he would watch the Brooklyn Dodgers, and he would, as a 5-year-old, he would call the games, and he said, "I want to be the Brooklyn Dodgers guy." And then he got his dream job.
But also, how many stories do you hear like that? That when you're a kid, we talk about manifesting this and that. You really can make your dreams come true, and that's such a great example of that. And even listening to Frank the other night, the stories he had.
Y'all were a little hot tip for if any of you are movie lovers. There may be another podcast coming in the works with Frank.
Frank, he was so excited to hear about the podcast and all the different interviews we've had. And when I was working here, Ron Shelton's office was right next to mine, and so I would go in there all the time and listen to his stories and talk baseball. And he, got a kick out of all my thoughts about the Dodgers. And our first interview,
I need to ask him how he's. I haven't seen him since the World Series began. I need to ask him tomorrow.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
How he's feeling. That's gonna be fun.
But we pretty much covered everything from Game 2. Also, Yoshi was amazing. I loved his standing ovation he got walking off the field. Another great win from us.
Not the biggest surprise, but that I was surprised he in the best way he went 7 innings. That felt like an incredible accomplishment.
Too. That was great for our bullpen.
It was huge.
And another thing that
especially because the night before we had to use them a little bit more than we would have liked. But that's why I also feel like we had to have Game 1. Game 1 was imperative for the amount of resources that we used in Game 1. To have lost that, I think we'd be very different conversation today had we lost Game 1. Even if we had won Game 2, still very different conversation just because of how we had to utilize the bullpen a little bit more in Game 1 than we would have liked.
And we got their pitcher out in 4 innings? And 3. So something that Adam said in his last rant, and what I've been hearing Dave talk about a lot, is just getting eyes on their bullpen guys. Mm-hmm. So we got to see a lot more of them than maybe we would have if Rodon went longer.
We knocked him out
that
sooner.
Was really great for us.
That was huge.
And another reason why we won that game.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the Teoscar homer happened in the 4th, right? Was it 3rd or 4th? I think it was the 4th. And it was 3rd? It was Rodon. It was against Rodon. Yeah. And that's what
third
knocked him out. Yeah.
Back to back, Teo, Freddie.
Teo and then Freddie. And I was like, hell yeah.
So great.
It's just, you're right. All those guys dreamed of being baseball players, and they made that happen. Charlie dreamed to be the radio announcer. He made that. And even Oral told us that Joe, who we still think is probably AI, but he, as a kid, was like, that's what I want to do. And he practiced. Calling games as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And now he has some pretty iconic ones, and one that I think is going to go down into history, which is, Freddie meet Gibby. Or Gibby meet Freddie.
That was amazing.
I want to ask them that of like, where do you come up with those things? And yet, like, do you come up with things before, or like, does it just come off? Well, and actually,
a little of both.
I think so, because I have actually asked a little bit of that to Charlie once before. Of like, you're so quick on the moment to be able to say something great, and like how. And we talked to Oral a little bit about it, like. Do you practice? And like for Charlie, he's like, no, you've lived. You lived a lot.
Isn't it so cool that we can just casually say, oh yeah, when we talk to Oral.
Yeah, I'll still never get over that. Hi, buddy.
I love it. Frank was very impressed that we talked to Oral. We did tell Frank that you think Joe is AI. He thought that was funny. All right, so let's talk. What do we think is going to happen in New York?
Whew, well,
I think Muncie's got to heat up and Will Smith's got to heat up.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Will he got a hit yesterday, right? I think. Now I'm like.
Yeah, I think he got a double. Yep, he did.
I was like,
he had a ball
he got
bounce.
Something, and I was very happy for him.
We had a lot of close calls this series so far.
Yeah, we did.
The ball, I guess, isn't traveling that well. Is that because of the weather? Like, I don't even know how that works. But
I don't know. The air is either heavier or thinner, and I think that affects.
I will say, Dodger fans, you've been awesome. The crowd, the noise.
Brava.
Yeah. Everyone at Dodger Stadium. I'm so jealous that you got to be there.
Right.
But you're doing a great job because
you're bringing the fire.
It really does impact the game, the players, the adrenaline, all of it. So
you're bringing the energy. So every Dodger fan in the, greater New York area, please make sure you are at that game to cheer for our boys. So it's not just Yankees fans.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We will appreciate that.
So I'm hoping for a sweep, but if we can take one game, come back and win it, I think that would be amazing. Dodgers in 6.
6 seems realistic, but I wouldn't be mad if it happened in 5. I'm okay with it happening in 5.
I don't think that it's too unrealistic because of how well we're playing and how much we're fighting. They want to win every single game.
And I think Bueller's going to come out and do well. And then we obviously know it's a bullpen game after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would be Flaherty again.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're probably going to lose one game in New York. I don't see, look, a sweep would be fun, but I don't see us sweeping the Yankees. Like they are a good team. I don't know. Maybe I'm not as optimistic as I should be for this team, but it's been fun to watch these 2 games. But the Yankees are a good team, but their pitching has been known.
So who's
as
their
better than
Game
us.
3 pitcher?
But
Adam?
Gil, maybe?
I don't know.
Or Marcus Stroman? I don't know. It's one of the 2.
Let's check. Because I feel like
I'm not a fan of their catcher's handlebar mustache.
Yeah, the handlebar. It's not my vibe for anyone. But,
no. I am a fan of Brent Honeywell and his turtleneck.
Yeah.
And that type of old school vibe. And I'm just obsessed with him, especially after that awesome interview that David Vassay did with Muncie talking about Brent Honeywell.
Mm-hmm.
I just love him.
It's Clark Schmidt.
That's his
their
name?
Starter. Yeah.
For Game 3?
Bueller. For Game 3. And, at least per matchup predictors, there's a 60% chance they say that the Yankees are going to beat the Dodgers.
There's a chance that the next time we talk to you guys, we will have won the World Series.
I can't.
I'll drink a beer bat again.
She will drink. Oh, actually, that was one thing we forgot to mention.
Say.
So, guys, Game 1, obviously, we've talked about it. We're know how the epicness
movie
of it
theater
ended.
room.
And we are in the
Frank's best friend is Steven Spielberg, just so you know.
Well,
so he had a movie theater.
He's very, very good friends with Steven, but his best friend was Jimmy Buffett.
And Jimmy Buffett. Watching him and Jimmy here,
guys,
I love
there
their
is nothing more fun than seeing those 2.
Okay, well,
those
Frank
2 dudes
and
together.
Kathy, his wife, met through Steven Spielberg.
They did. And they're all very close friends.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they all still obviously work together. But Frank, when we hit the Grand Slam, he's like, well, that we have to toast to that, right? And we're all like, yeah, y'all, I haven't drank in 5 months. Because intentionally, I'm doing some gut healing as we speak, and there's nothing that gets you motivated more to fix any digestive issues you have than planning a wedding in which you want to enjoy and partake and not feel bad and gross and have any pain. So with that said, it's also why I bring my food usually to Dodger Stadium. I'm not always this ridiculous. I love a hot dog when allowed. But,
okay, so next season you'll have hot dogs with me?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Once we get...
And a beer?
I've never been a big beer girl. I'm not going to lie.
I'll work on it, guys.
I mean, I actually like a mango cart. I think that's the only beer I'll really drink. They make me feel like a bloated pregnant whale, and it's just not fun. And I don't love the taste of them enough for it to be worth it. And I live in a world of, is this worth it? Is this going to be enjoyable? Even if there's repercussions, is this worth it? For me, for instance, once again, tiny little tangent, croissants. Y'all, that's my heart. My heart is made of flaky pastry. But not all croissants are created equal. Some croissants, you're like, that is not worth it because that does not look like a good croissant. And other croissants, you're like, worth every second.
True.
And so
back to the champagne toast.
So to the champagne toast. Haven't drank because we're, doing the thing. And Frank pulls out a bottle of Dom and is like, we got a toast, and brings back 4 glasses. And I'm like, well, you can't say no to Dom or history that you just watched be
After
made.
we all are jumping up and down, hugging each other, high-fiving.
Like that moment you're going to tell your kids about one day that you got to watch history be made in the World Series, and you toasted with a glass of
and
Dom
we
Perignon.
Toasted Freddie. We toasted the moment.
We did. And it was so good. Y'all, that Dom was delicious.
It really was.
Oh, it was so, so good. And the saddest part about it is that I was already kind of a lightweight my hiatus from drinking, and we're back to the hiatus now until January when I go taste my wedding food in Italy, and then I will have wine. Y'all, I was straight up tipsy after that much Dom Perignon.
I will say that I've tried a lot of nice wines, especially when I worked at Spago, and I could really never tell a difference.
Really?
Champagne, you can tell.
Oh yeah. Well, and also the next day you can usually tell too, based on.
I could put this down now.
She really just wants a beer in her bat. But yeah, it was worth it. And actually, I hope we have a few more.
We've
of those
already
moments.
Changed last season, which was when I got this bat, was one of the postseason games. So we've already changed the story. And this is such a special season, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen next.
No matter what, this season has been a success. And I stand by that right now. We know the job isn't finished, and we know the goal that we have for this team. But no matter what, I'm so proud of this team. I'm proud of these boys. Dave has been phenomenal.
I know.
He has managed the hell out of this team and in this postseason. And I want to acknowledge that this season is a success no matter what happens. It really is.
But we are going to win.
But also, let's win
the World Series. When you were saying all the similarities between 88, we could, if we win in 6, we will be winning on Fernando's birthday, I believe.
Really? Y'all, I'm cool with whatever combination of these, whether you fate or coincidences or whatever you
and keep throwing
them
our way. If there's more that we didn't mention, I want to know.
Yeah, tell us.
I want to know all of them.
Because we're here for it every moment.
Anywho. Well, any last words from you, Adam? Go Dodgers, or I love Freddie Freeman, or I missed you girls so much,
or baseball's great.
He could have pitched to Mookie. He could have just walked him anyway. I don't understand the thinking.
Could have, but he didn't, and we are thankful for it.
Oh.
Cheers to Aaron Boone for that decision.
Cheers to the Dodgers. Cheers to Freddie. Cheers to our amazing team. We wish you all the luck at Dodger Stadium. You're going to do great, and I can't wait to
Yankee
watch you.
Stadium is what she meant to say.
I meant Yankee Stadium.
But also, if you have to come back to Dodger Stadium, we wish you luck then too. But you'll hear from us before that happens anyway. So yeah, go Dodgers!
Go Dodgers! Woo! Bye.
Bye.
Great.
Wow, Adam said great.
Okay, I have to pee like a racehorse.